I ended a 10 years old friendship. And let me tell you a bit of this story because it's a bit interesting. No, actually, my intention on telling you this story and sharing with you my reasons for that is because I want to point it out the things that made me rethink this friendship, and if you're noticing some similar traits on your friendship, in my opinion you should reconsider. It happened 6 months ago, and back on 6 months ago I made a video about it. It was like 1 week after I end this friendship, and this person asked me to delete the video. I make it private. I even rewatch it to kind of remember what I was feeling like back then, and a lot of things changed in this meantime, but I still don't hold back on the reasons why I decided to cut this person out of my life. And I have to explain you some things before I start telling you my reasons. First, I don't hate this person. She's not a mean person. She's not evil. She's actually a good person. She has some problems, such as everybody does. So I'm not here to point out um her like telling you that she's a wicked person because she's not. She's not. She's a common person like everybody is, and she has defects like everybody does. And so do I have defects. So other things I pointed here, I'm sure if you asked her, she would point a lot of bad things on me as well because I'm a human being. I make mistakes such as she does, and I don't want to play the victim here, acting like I'm the saint. I'm not. I'm not. I made a lot of mistakes in this friendship. For some of them, I apologized. Some of them, I may not apologize because I didn't notice I made a mistake and she hasn't pointed it out. So, because of that, I cannot, you know, uh, figure out all of a sudden a mistake I've done if the person do not communicate to me. So, all the things I'll be telling here is my part of story. I don't think she'll tell her part of story because she's not a public person, and that's it. I'm not a relevant person. I'm only telling you this because I want you to learn through my experience. So it's not like I'm creating a fight on the internet because it's not. Okay, so I think it's really important point it out because sometimes people cannot understand what I mean here. And well, let's start with the beginning of this friendship because I think it's really important for me to explain you how this friendship started because as every relationship it hasn't started in a bad situation. No, we met at school back then. We were 12. It was 10 years ago in 2016, and we met because we were both watching a TV show called Pretty Little Liars. It's one of my favorite shows, not because it's good, but because I have this um dear feeling about this TV show. Not only because of my friendship, because it was the first TV show I have ever watched, besides Disney Channel TV shows. And uh, we started a friendship because of this TV show, and this friendship growed uh, closer, deeper, and we started to share personal things to each other, and we got pretty close. So it was a friendship that I literally told her everything about my life. Every single move I had in my life, I told her because I completely trust her, and she never broke my trust. She never um made me doubt of her fidelity. So it's all the thing that I have to figure out. She never ever betrayed me because of personal things. Never. So I think it's really important for you to understand that not every friendship ends because of such a huge um oh my gosh, I forgot the word, but because of such a huge fight or anything. No, sometimes you're only not getting along, and I think in my case, it was probably the main reason. But I have some good reasons as well, uh, for share with you. Okay, so as I said, it was a good beginning, you know, and let's start with the reasons that made me give up. The first one is that she treated people in general as, how can I say that? Dishonorable. I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but basically she was like, she was always treating people like they're not important to her, and she can always met someone new. And at the start, hearing this, you can think, okay, it's not bad. She has a good self-esteem and she's protecting herself. Yes, but when it's being done with such a frequency, at the point that you don't even want to have a truthful relationship with anybody, because you're always treating this person like unusable, maybe it's not so good. So it started to a point, it got to a point that it started to affect me. So, every time she met someone new, more interesting, more smart, more intelligent, she stopped talking to me and be with this person the whole day. And she literally ignored me the whole day and only wanted to speak to me through WhatsApp when this person was not around. So it was back in school, but this behavior kept happening even after school, you know. So we met at when you were at elementary school, just to explain you, okay? So you were really young, and it always hurted me, that thing, but it got to a point that really started to hurting me. So that's why it was one of the reasons I didn't want to hurt in my life anymore. But it was problematic since back school, because it got to a point that she literally befriended with a guy who hated me. This guy hated me. He was a classmate of us, a classmate of us, and he was a great student. He was really smart. He's still really smart and all. But I was as well. So he created a man competition with me, and I didn't care about him. I was just focused on my studies because I had big dreams back then, and I was focusing on achieving them. I didn't care about him. So he cared too much about me. So he hated me because I was better than him, and this my best friend befriended with him, and she stopped talking to me to talk to him and his friends. And she knew that he hated me. I didn't knew that. I found out that some months later, but she knew right from beginning that he hated me, and she kept being friends with him. So I think from that moment I should be aware of that. And she was like, the few moments that she talked to me, she was like, be aware with him, be careful about him, because he don't like you, he doesn't like you. And I couldn't understand. So if he doesn't like me, why you walk with him, why you get along with him you know so it already made me feel uncomfortable. But um I talked to her. I tried to talk to her about it. That I wasn't liking the fact that she was not talking to me. She was ignoring me and the other friend we had back then, to be walking with those kind of people, because they were not good influence. They were not. And she was like, you are the ones who are ignoring me. So she put the blame on us, on me and the other girl, and we were like, man, no, you don't want to spend the break time with us, you don't talk to us at the class, you don't want to make the group projects alongside with us. So no, it's not our mistake you know so it already make me uncomfortable. And after school, this kind of behavior kept happening because back when we finished high school, she started to say that she doesn't remember everything from high school. So she was like, I don't care about those people, putting them under her. But we have to make clear that we're not important, okay? We are from a small city in Brazil countryside. We are not rich. If money would matter, because it doesn't matter, but if it would, we don't even have it. And she was like always putting herself up everyone. She was like, I don't care about those people, I don't remember anything. So every time I try to talk about our memories from high school, from elementary school, she was like, I don't remember it, I don't remember it, in a tone of superiority that I hated. And it's not something like, okay, I don't remember everything from my elementary school because it was too many years ago. It's okay. It's okay for you to forget. But it's so different the way it was so different depending on how you put it, in your tone and in some kind of words. So I wasn't liking it. But anyway, and as I said, it kept happening after high school because she started working to a hospital, and she started working part time. So in in my knowledge back then, based on what I knew, um, she worked part time. So she had other moments of the day to talk to me. So I sent her a message throughout the day, and I knew that she couldn't reply immediately, but that was fine. But she literally started to ghost me for like 3 days, 1 week, and the few moments that she answered me back, she said, "Okay, fine, thumb thumb up," and I was like, "Girl, you're not that busy. You can take a time to answer me properly." And I understand that back then I was young. I was 18, so I I was in the transition phase where I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm an adult. So I felt really offended by being ghosted by her. Today, I don't care about it anymore. I don't care if someone's ghost me, because I understand they're busy. But back then, she didn't even explain to me. And just to make it clear, we were best friends. We were not random friends. We were best friends, you know. And the few times she answered me and stopped to talk to me on WhatsApp, she was always bad mouthing her coworkers, saying that she hated them and all. And I was like, okay. After some days, some weeks actually, I found out that she wasn't working part time. She was taking 9 shifts, and she didn't tell me. And the same way she was bad mouthing her coworkers and to me, she was friends with them. So she was bad mouthing them, and the same time that she was friends with them. And I was like, okay, I'm confused right now. I'm really sorry. I'm confused right now. And also after that, she got into a F1 group because she started liking F1, and she befriended with some people there, and there were girls who lives abroad. So basically they're Brazilians, but they lives in different parts of the world, and she started to be really close to them. And I found out that the reason she did it was because she wanted to live abroad as well. So she was using these friendships to kind of get some advantage. And I was like, girl, and it got to a point that she didn't want she, I felt that she was bored talking to me because that friendships were more interesting than I. And the last conversations we had were more she talking about these friends of hers than actually talking to me about me. So I noticed that she was more interested on friendships that could give her some kind of thing related to this dream of living abroad than actually a friendship like mine. That, you know, what I could, my phone is pouring off. What I could offer fidelity, almost 10 years of friendship, but I felt like she didn't want that anymore. And well, following to the second thing is that she how can I say, I forgot. Okay, she didn't want to hang out with me. It was like terrible for me to hang out with her because I had to make an appointment to hang out with her, you know, because she was always giving me some kind of excuse that she couldn't hang out with me. And don't get me wrong, we were both unemployed. Actually, I worked. I've been working, in a formal job, so I have free time. I can make my own working time, and I not so close, not so limited by a job. She was jobless, and you know, it was so weird to me because I was working, I was studying, but I could find time to meet her. But she, who wasn't doing anything, she couldn't, hang out with me like never. And it got me to the nerves because once it was into 2024, we we were in this meantime trying to find a date for us to meet, and we had a fight. And in the same week we had this fight, she hung out with a group of friends from the hospital. you know and I was so angry because of that, because I was like, man, I'm trying to hang out with you for like months and you don't find time for do that to me. But now that you fight with me, you find time. And I started getting pretty angry because I was always trying to hang out with her, always, always, always. And she never hang out with me, but she eventually sent me voice messages, and I could notice that she was hanging out, that she was not at home, that she was on the streets, and she wasn't working. She was simply hanging out. She was simply, taking a stroll, you know. And I felt so angry because she even told me once that she used to hang out, that she used to leave home and make some, what's the word, FaceTime with her friends who lives in other countries. So she literally found time to hang out with girls that don't even live here, but she couldn't hang out with me. And I was literally getting pretty offended by this treatment, you know? And I think there's a problem of Gen Z friendships. Guys, we are so used to, having conversations with your friends through social media that you don't want to have a real life friendship anymore. It's really problematic. I started to think about it, how problematic Gen Z friendships are, because we don't have friendships anymore. We just wanted to talk to our friends through WhatsApp, and that's enough for us. But it's not like that. A friendship needs time. We need to see each other. We need to hug each other. We cannot only meeting like twice a year, especially if you live in the same city. Because if you live in different cities, different countries, okay, I won't say anything because it's like impossible. But sometimes in like long-term friendships, they long distance friendships, it's easiest to them to meet out than you meet with your friends who literally live 20 meters of your home. Is really wrong. The friend I have a video talking about it. How friendships, Gen Z friendships are rotten. Because I don't know if it's because of pandemic that we don't have this habit of meeting our friends in real time anymore. And it's really wrong. It's really, really, really wrong. And it's because of laziness. It's not because now everyone says, oh, but I don't have time, I don't have time. But you have time to be scrolling on TikTok. You have time to go on a date with your boyfriend, It's priorities. You don't want a friendships, but if you want to have a friendship in your life, you have to dedicate time to this friendship. I'm really sorry, you know? But keeping what I was saying, you know? So all those things made me feel really, really angry because I felt like I wasn't in a friendship. I felt like I only had a, online friend, but we literally live in the same city 20 minutes apart. And I started to think, girl, that's not right. That's not right, you know? And a part of that, following, um, I also, kind of repeating what I said earlier, she always felt that she was superior to everyone. And it's not that she openly say that, no, but she implies it in some, you know, words. So she was like, she didn't want to have any relationship with some kind of people simply because she thought she was better than them. But girl, we are anything, you know. I'm not saying that that you should be friends with anyone. No, please, I'm not saying that. You have to be, you have to have some kind of criteria. But literally, when you think you're superior, it's really hard, you know? And it started to annoys me because it was so, so drained. Because if you walk with someone who is extremely um full of criticism and all, you will start being a bit like that, so nothing's good to you, you know. So I remember once we go to the mall, it was like one of the last times we hang out together. uh we went to a clothes store, okay, and she literally saw all the clothes. They were wrapped it up. I think I said the right word, over a table, and she said, "It's ugly, it's ugly, it's ugly, it's ugly. I won't use anything like that." Like everything was under her her requirements. And I was like, "One of the clothes I literally had." And that's like, "Girl, I have this clothes." And she's like, okay, but it's keep being ugly. It keeps being ugly." So I was like, like when we went to a restaurant or a coffee shop and all, she was always saying that everything was disgusting, as and she only eat one kind of thing because everything is disgusting. And I was like, man, nothing's good to you. Oh my God, it can seem silly, but start walking with someone like that. It's annoying. Someone who doesn't like anything, that everything is bad, that everything is wrong, that everything is ugly, that everything is not good enough to her because she's so better than that, is annoying. You see, that is not just about people, it's about things as well. And it's annoying. It's annoying. You have no idea of how hard it is to deal with those kind of people. And and they're so critic about everything, and every time you try to present something new to them, they they hate it. They simply hate it. I remember when I started watching animes. I started watching animes because of my brother, and I was not young. I was like 17. It wasn't like um early teenage or childhood hobby. No, I started to watch it in my late teens, and I liked it. I have many animes I like. I watch it, some of them. Nana is literally my dear anime. Villain Saga, Hunter x Hunter, The Promised Neverland. I love all of them. I even made some videos about them, and I I remember I liked it so much because it was something new to me. I've never watched animes before, and I really liked these stories. And I remember I put a Killua from Hunter x Hunter wallpaper on my phone. And she's like, "Ugh, you're watching those kind of things." She treated like she was the most. It was the most disgusting thing. She treated me like I was a weirdo, and literally it's just a anime. And I felt so uncomfortable by this treatment because I was like, girl, it's just an anime. You know that let me just check my battery because I'm a bit afraid of my gosh, it's 1%. I will pause this video and I will keep the second part after it charge a bit, okay? Hey guys, Natalie from Future here. Well, I had to cut this video in this part. One, because it was pretty long, so I think more than 25 minutes of videos is already a bit hard to watch. So I decided to divide this video in two parts because it's so long, and my phone turned it off because of its power off. So I had to stop recording the video. I had to wait my phone to, you know, get the battery again, and it was getting dark, it was getting late, and also my sister got home. Because of that, I wasn't able to record the video. I was always being interrupted, and I was getting too nervous because of that. I was getting angry because of that, actually. So I decided to cut the video, and I will post part 2 tomorrow because I was able to record, in a more peaceful environment without interruptions, and that's it. So I'm really sorry that I couldn't finish this video in one part, but if you like the first part, keep watching because I don't want to finish the video the way I finished it. I still have a lot to say, and see you tomorrow in part 2. Okay, bye.